is the same for Sikh community as well. Whereas on the other hand, the socially oppressed people in India, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other OBCs and religious minorities also celebrates this day as their Messiah's birth anniversary. Here the Messiah means Baba Saheb Ambedkar. They are celebrating 130th birth anniversary of Baba Saheb Ambedkar also. On this historical day, we, the Bagujan Dravidan intellectuals, have decided to start an organization that would benefit only the Bagujan Dravida students and youth. This unregistered organization would function as a shadow organization. It would work for the Bagujan Dravida students and youth to educate the real history and guide how to move forward in socially and politically. In this record, Dr. Amrit Singh has a great plan to launch an organization named Bagujan Global Khalsa Initiative. The 20th century was a century for the liberation of nationalist states. The 21st century has been the century for the re-emergencies of linguistic nation states. In 1947, even though the British acquired the Indian subcontinent, leaving it as a federal state, all the states which are supposed to be uniformly autonomous and achieve a resultant equal progress. The states have neither enjoyed a uniform autonomy nor integrated process. When we explore for the reasons, the scholars from various forms fields have ready-made answer as per their own understanding. I wish to put forth the key reasons. The social Varna-based gratification even actually led to the transformation of the society based on economic stratifications as well. The first grade Hindus, the second grade Hindus, and third grade Hindus become the upper caste. The fourth grade Hindus become touchable castes. And those who opposed this graded unequal social system became untouchable community in the Hindu religion. The Hindu law denied a Sudra to get education. It says that if a Shudra get education, it is a sin. This was the major obstacles for the aboriginals, the natives, to achieve a educational and social development. In the Indian subcontinent, states like Punjab and Tamil Nadu were not similar like the other nationalities. They have made great strides in education and social development. If you look deeper into this subject, we can easily understand the basic reason for this. Both the states follow an uncompromised political leadership which remains a tool against the Sanatana Dharma, against the Sanskrit, and against the caste hierarchical system. The Sanatana forces have launched many attacks, vicious attacks on the race in the Indian subcontinent. They also attacked the Punjab and Tamil Nadu in a similar way or more. The two states, the genocide happened. Genocide happened to the Sikh community also and the Tamil community also. In spite of the attack, the reason for these two races to stand erect is because their roots are deep. Tamils and Punjabis are a race that has continued to carry ideological propaganda to young masses. Tamil Nadu takes a pride to have preserved the Tamil Sangha literature, which has a long history within itself. In Punjab, gurus from Guru Nanak, Guru Ravidas, Guru Kabir, Guru Nanak to Guru Govind Singh have explored and found the holy book, Guru Granth Sahib. They highlighted and worshipped this holy book. This book teaches integrated humanity. The symbol of the culture is that the people continuously celebrates their own festival without break. The New Year, which predicted by the sun, is the same day for Tamils and Punjabis. In the same day of 1969, Guru Govind Singh proposed the philosophy of Norse doctrine and created a way of life for Punjabis. Not only for Punjabis, because on the day, the whole subcontinent of India gathered at the place of Anandapur Sahib. Lot of people, more than, according to statistics report says that around 80,000 people gathered. That some people from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra also people participated in that. I think Guru Govind Singh was the first person consolidated all the nation and wanted to finish this Hindu Manudharma Sanadana system. Guru Govind Singh told the people to give up the Hindu philosophy, and now the RS is saying to follow it. 2000 years ago, Ayyan Valluvar also taught morality. He taught an integrated humanity. Really, I feel bad and guilty that once of the Tamils look the initiative to bring these two philosophies to the Tamil masses. That's why I have taken these initiatives and begun to propagate since last 10 years. On this day, I remember the farmers who are struggling for the second freedom struggle on the Delhi border. The struggle for the farmer has been going on for more than 130 days. The government failed to understand the pain of their struggle. We can't deny that the struggle has united and pulled all the peasants and activists all over the nation. Not all over the nation. Throughout the world, the activists are nowadays very keenly watching the struggle of the farmers, Indian farmers. Under my leadership also, thousands of people took part in the peasant struggle, and they were preceded by the teachings of Sikh gurus. It is a good sign that the Tamilians also preparing themselves for the cultural change. Until Hinduism alive, the casteism is also alive. Until the casteism is also alive, untouchability also alive. So until the cultural change happen, we cannot escape from untouchability or sufferings. So only through cultural change, the people across the nation can live happily in India. That cultural change is only possible through political change, according to the Indian constitution, also according to the strategy, according to the philosophy of Kanshiramism. Political change is happen. When the political change happen, the cultural change also happen. So that's what Baba Sahib Ambedkar told. The political power is the only master key. Political power is the only for the social progress, economic progress, and cultural progress also. My volunteers, my party volunteers are working day and night for such a political change. I conclude my speech with a deep hope that political change will take place in India very soon, followed by the cultural change. So in this, I conclude my speech, and also here Dr. Amrit Singh, and as well as the people from different parts of the country also watching this seminar. At the same time, YouTube also, a live program is also going on. A lot of people in Tamil Nadu, they are watching in YouTube channel also. And Mr. Sadasivam, the senior activist, social activist, and doing a lot for our Tamil society. He is also going to address today. So very soon, actually, we people are expecting the political change in India, because Congress and BJP are following the Hindu philosophy and Hindu ideology. The Bahujan ideology, Periyar ideology, and Kanshiram ideology is the only solution for the majority people in India. For that, we are working. So this seminar, not only finish today, every week we are going to conduct such a seminar through Zoom, Shudra to Begumpura. So I don't want to brief about what is Begumpura, because Dr. Amrit Singh wanted to describe about the whole meaning of the Begumpura. If the people understand about the Begumpura, the people ready to work for the social and political change too. And also they're very happy to say that Mr. Rajendra Singh, who is the president of Guru Nanak College in Tamil Nadu, he is also going to give his vote of thanks. Through him, I understood the meaning of. Yesterday, when I discussed with him, he briefly explained about the meaning of Begumpura. So until we are in the clutches of Hindu religion, we cannot see Begumpura. The Begumpura concept given by the great philosopher and the Guru and the Bhagat, Guru Ravidas. So we people want to see this country as a discrimination-free country, tax-free country. So in this, I conclude my speech. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat, Jai Kanshiram, Vaheguru Ka Khalsa Ji, Vaheguru Ka Fateh. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So thank you for your welcome address. So I would like invite Dr. Amrit Singh to just start with the keynote address, and we all are waiting for your auspicious speech for this event.
Thank you, Jeevanji, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity today. Before I start, I will again say Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It simply means Khalsa is of the God, one God, and victory of the Khalsa is the victory of God, not his alone. So, so the topic is very interesting, Shudra to Begumpura, and we are celebrating also Vaisakhi. It's a day the Guru Gobind Singh baptized Khalsa. And before baptizing Khalsa, Guru Gobind Singh had to resist 8 organized invasion on him. And during those resistance, battles, Guru had to resist because he was being terrorized to give up his ideals, and the state had launched a very organized attack on Guru Gobind Singh. And so Guru Gobind Singh resisted all those 8 attacks on him and then emerged victorious. And then after winning all those 8 battles, then he experienced that his fight is not for what people are taking it to be. It's not a fight for kind of a territorial war or a political aim. So Guru Gobind Singh then called a big meeting about which Jivanji just gave a reference, that at that time when India's total population was less than 300 million, and at that time 80,000 people from all over India gathered in Anandpur Sahib. And the war cry was that there were some of the hill kings, those who were known as a Hindu kings at the time. So they were kind of provoking all those 80,000 people. So let us join and attack the Mughals and so win this war. But Guru knew all that his mission, his goal is not what they are trying to, take everything in their own hands. The agent provocators, there were so many at that time. And so Guru knew that's why from 80,000 just needed those who understood his mission, and only 5 came. And those 5 then led to 20,000 who took Amrit on that day. And those 20,000 stayed the course until Banda Singh Bahadur, for the first time, established a sovereign rule right in the vicinity of Delhi, and reformed for the first time. He distributed land to the laborers, the tillers, those who were actually working. So the peasant movement got a radical change during that time between 1710 and 1716. So Banda Bahadur, since he was baptized by Guru Gobind Singh himself and many others, 20,000, so they stayed the course for throughout the 18th century until Maharaja Ranjit Singh establishes the rule. So what became the benchmark? The demographic of Punjab at the time were like 65% Muslims and 25 to 20, around 30% were Hindus, and rest were all others like Christians, Sikhs, and Sikhs were just 9 to 10% of the population. So for 9 to 10% to resist the violence from the Mughals, from the Afghans, from the Iranians, and so how they stood the course because of their high ideals, that they did not buy this thing that everything is fair in love and war. No, Gobind Singh didn't teach that. So they never dishonored any women. They never attacked the civilians, and they never. So there were some ethics in their battle, and so how they emerged victorious is just because of Guru's teaching. So what is Shudras? First of all, Jivanji have given a definition, and there is a lot of description. I think there's no better description by anyone. Dr. Ambedkar has given how Shudras became Shudras. We all know. So always there are 2 people, like defined and who defines. A definer and define. Defined are always at the receiving end. And the definer has so much power, so much knowledge, so much language. So, I mean, kind of a temptation of everything, the media or whatever you, in the modern terms you call. So definer always has more power and the defined. So Shudras are the defined and defined as Shudras. And the worst thing is, which Guru Nanak, Guru Ravidas ji, Guru Kabir ji, and all Pagas, those who objected, that Shudra has been reduced to this lowly kind of, a wretched kind of a condition by bringing God in it. That is the God's will that they have to be Shudras. And they objected that. It's nothing, the God has been abused by defining Shudra in the name of a God. So that's why all those gurus stood up and registered this kind of a definition. And they asked all those who were defined as Shudras not to accept those definitions. They empowered them. They asked them to learn, to get education, to know about their condition, and rather they should become the definer, not the defined. So when Shudra started becoming a definer, there was whole chaos in the society. So Baba Bandar Singh Bahadur recruited so many Shudras. When they raised their arms against, when they became the baptized Khalsa, I mean, there was a kind of a revolution. So Shudra to Begumpura. What is Begumpura? Now, Begumpura. Begumpura is a place, a kind of an ideal city, a kind of an ideal nation, a kind of where no one defines in terms of this hierarchy of caste or varnashra dharma, where everyone lives according to his deeds or her deeds, not according to as they are defined by someone else. So Guru Ravidas ji, Begumpura Sehar ko naam, dukhando nahi teh thao. So there is a city like this where there is no suffering. There is no alienation. Na taswees kharaj namal. It means there are no taxes there. There's no exploitation, no loot, like we are experiencing today. Farmers are at the receiving end, but still there are others who want to profit from their miseries, from their suffering. Na taswees kharaj namal. Ab mohe khu batan geh pai. Wahan khair sada mere pai. Kaim daim sada pashahi. So Guru Ravidas ji says that he has gone every corner of the world and he didn't find any place, but this Begumpura is the only place where there is no suffering and where everyone who lives there is a brother or a equal, first among the equals. So this is a kind of ideal city where all, despite, in spite of their connection with ethnicity, their race, nothing comes in between, but they are considered for their humanity, for their dignity. So Begumpura is a kind of an ideal city, and which is absent in the modern or in the world, but for which all those enlightened souls, they're going to work towards, creating Begumpura. So what is happening currently is that, so by maligning, by condemning, by, all those uh, low kind of tricks, so we are trying to put others in bad lights. And the reason is that it's a constant practice going on, so that when you can present somebody so bad, the only hope that you have that when they look so bad, so we're going to look so good, so better than them. So this caste hierarchy is like they created a Brahma, the feet, and the head, and all that. This is a kind of a human, it's a social division. It's not a divine division. That's the basic fundamental message in Guru Granth Sahib. That these social divisions have nothing to do with the godliness for the divine divisions. It's nothing to do with. It's a human made divisions. So humans made those divisions by using their definitions and by propagating those definitions over and over. And so by creating a kind of a parallel culture of redefinition, and you can bring equality in the society. So Guru Granth Sahib, there are only out of 10 gurus, there are only 6 gurus hymns in that. And there are 30 other saints, those who do not belong to only one sector, you can say, they come from different backgrounds. Like Bhagat Jayadev ji from Bengal, Bhagat Namdev ji, Maharashtra, and Bhagat Ravidas ji, Bhagat Kabir ji, from all Kashi, and so they speak different languages. They have a different backgrounds, but they have only one message, and that message is one for all. So all those saints' sacred hymns are enshrined in Guru Granth Sahib, and without their hymns, Guru Granth Sahib won't be a guru. No Sikh's gonna be accepting this, that you take the hymns of Guru Ravidas ji from Guru Granth Sahib. Nobody gonna accept that. Or you take hymns of, because many, the British tried this, then later other, power hungry people tried to do that, but they were never successful. But there are two kinds of, you get political power by dividing, which is a very easy course, which is an easy path to power. But there is another course that's by uniting people. And gurus and Pagis way of, making people human is by uniting them, by recognizing their inner strength, by recognizing their dignity, humanity. So that's why there is a conflict between these two kind of cultural forms, the divisive forms and those forms that those unites. So they're going to be some kind of a conflict always. But again, Guru's messages do not create a feeling in those who believe that they should hate others. Hatred is absent in Guru's message. Even Brahmins, Pandits, They have their humanity, but their humanity is gone, and it's not only Brahmins, even a Sikh or even anyone, even a Shudra, when is caught up in that kind of a trap, even they gonna be worst to the humanity. So the purpose is not that it's not a sectarian kind of uh, way to power. No, it's not sectarian. So when we say mool, man tu apna mool pacha, mool is a mean when human recognize their origin, when they can find their connection to one God, so they become all mool nivasi kind of. They are connected to the mool, and anyone can be connected to the mool. So gurus like Bhagat Ravidas ji, even though came from a a Chamar caste, or Bhagat Namdev ji, a Chimba caste, but they caste is not important here. Caste is their sacred hymns are important. I mean, how sacred they are, how pure they are, how elevated spiritually they are. I mean, they are the best of best model of the humanity. So Begumpura is a kind of a religious, or you can say cultural response to all those who divide people and give so much suffering, and the suffering then creates a kind of a history of pain for generation to come, and that's what Guru's uh, message is. So I can actually, there is so much, but I think I can answer many questions. So uh, I don't know the audience in which part they would like to know more, but uh, 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 I can say one thing, that Sikh history since Guru Gobind Singh, you can say, or since Guru Arjan Dev Ji, that is 1604, when Harmandir Sahib was the foundation, and when it was completed. After that, the history of this from 1604 is a very violent history, a lot of violence against the Sikhs, and they are such a tiny minority, and for such a tiny minority to survive against such violence, and that's why they remain confined to Punjab and this area during the Mughals, during the British, and during the Afghans, and so the most of the history is written by the British. And British wrote Punjab history from the colonial point of view, because they wanted to keep their colony. And so so history is not what you read. History is what you do not read in those lines. So you have to reconstruct the history between the lines. So there are so many narratives, like you will see the British divided the Pagas and Gurus. They try to give a definition of that Pagas are kind of a low caste, so they have a secretary position in Guru Granth Sahib, and Gurus have a higher position because they were Kshatriyas. So they have given different definition in order to create a kind of a doubt or duality in the people. So that's why a lot of history is written from the colonial point of view. And so we have to learn between the lines, and we have to go back and forth to the Guru Granth Sahib. The original message is in Guru Granth Sahib. And Guru Granth Sahib's message is not confined to the Sikhs or to the Tamils or to one nation or one. This is a message to whole of humanity. And this is a message how we can survive in this world when we are under the shadow of nuclear arsenals and so much weapons to destroy this humanity. With the one button, the whole humanity can be wiped out. So when Guru Gobind Singh baptized the Khalsa, it means right to wear arms, right to education, is the first bill of rights of the Sikhs. And so what it means when you give arms to somebody, so then there is a lot of moral responsibility on you. And if the arms are not guided by the moral responsibility, they can be instrument of terror. And so there are so many, deadly arms present today, but there is not a parallel morality in order to use them for protecting the civilization, to use them for keeping the humanity alive. So that's the greatest fear. And today, where we are at, so that's I mean, the morality is absent, and there are so many mental health problems going on all over the world. And Guru Granth Sahib says, when you are associated with the Naam, then only then there are problems. There are mental problems. So we all human beings need a common knowledge that can guide us to our bright future, to a kind of a new morning where we all can feel, we all can appreciate one another, where we all can recognize the human potential in others. Everyone has a right to live happily and to realize their human potential. So that can be only when we join together and really have a dialogue. And dialogue like Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they just went to every corner of the world and looking for men, those who feel the pain for everyone, those who can be together, those who can create a new future for humanity. So, Guru Nanak was able to collect so many of them, like 30 saints, sacred hymns he collected. And then his most important task after he came back was, who gonna, keep this legacy intact? Who gonna do that? And so that is an amazing example in human history, that all the gurus, those who were appointed, so there was only one test for them, that they would not compromise on anything, because now the sacred hymns of the saints, those who happen to be Shudras, to according to their definition, but not to Guru Nanak's definition. To Guru Nanak, the purest of the pure he could find. But in the modern society, they were condemned as Shudras, not fit to give a message to the world. So when Guru Nanak recognized their spiritual heights and ordered his successors not to compromise even a one vowel of their hymns. So that was the test. And the second guru and fifth guru even was tortured just for that he was asked to delete Shudra's hymns from the Guru Granth Sahib. He was asked to delete some lines which were had a reference to Muslims, so which he all rejected, and he refused to pay the jizya, that you have to pay tax in order to practice your faith. I mean, how you can practice your faith if you are doing it under fear, fear of others, fear of the those who have power. So faith can be only promoted or can be kept if you are fearless. With the fear, you cannot be near God. To be fearless, only you can have God in you. So that's the brief message of the gurus. But your questions would give me some kind of a clue what I can highlight. And thank you, I think, for listening to me. And I really feel honored. It's a great moment for me, because we all are kind of, when we are considering these good things, so we form a kind of a satsangat. Satsangat is when we are all not doing any kind of other politics, but only trying to understand our pain and trying to how to liberate ourselves from this pain and how to become human. And so that's the true Sangat. So thank you very much.
What is the meaning of Nam, Ji? What is the meaning of Nam?
Okay, I will, let me, I think I can better explain this. Can I share screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Can you enable screen, sharing screen?
Yes, I can do that.
Derek?
Yeah.
Okay.
You allow?
Okay.
Yes.
You can go now, sir.
Now? Okay. All right. So here is so Naam. What is Naam? Naam is just a name.
Okay.
Okay. So why we do need name when we are more than one? Because then only the name is needed when there are more than one. But when God is one, so all names, whatever you give names, still it's one. All those names are true or equally untrue. Okay. So Naam is a neutral for God, neutral, secular, non-specific.
Okay.
And specific names are like Allah, Ram, Rahim, Krishan, Vaheguru, Isa, Hari, Swami, Kartar. So as there are thousands of languages, so there may be 1,000 different names of the Naam. Those, and these are Guru Granth Sahib on page 19. Those who have forgotten Naam are caught in duality. They putrefy and die and are consumed by the fire of desire. So only Naam can alleviate our suffering, our duality, our fear. When you meet a true Guru, you can discover Naam. One recognizes a true Guru, meeting whom you discover Naam. So Naam is, so you belong to Muslim right here, Allah. We write Vaheguru, but in Guru Granth Sahib, there is not one name. There is Aval Allah Noor Paya Kudrat Ke Sab Bande. Ek Nur te sab jag upja kaun pale bhagwan mande. So it means Awal Allah, the first God created light, and everything is born of that light. When everything is born from that light, then how you can say that certain people are good and others are bad? So it simply means that we all are Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Hankar. So that's our Kam is a lust, anger, and greed, and ego, and all these. We all are in this by, having kind of internal battle between when you win over all these desires. So then you become closer to Nam. So Nam is just a neutral name of God, and in any culture, any language, you can feel that, but still it is a Nam.
Okay.
Yes, any other questions? So eternal Guru is just like in Guru Gobind Singh's hymns, it says Aad Ant Eko Tara Soi Guru Samjhe Hamara. It means right from the beginning of this earth and to the end of this earth, whenever it's going to be, there is only one Guru, one God, one Guru, and that one Guru is my Guru. So what it means that this Guru's teachings have been right from the beginning the same, and they're going to stay the same. And that is how we can help others, how we can be, when in a short span of this life, how we can attain our highest self. So that's only one teaching, and that's one Guru. So Gurmukh is who follows teaching of the Guru. Manmukh is who follows the mind, and she is a slave of 5 mighty demons: lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, pride. The struggle is internal. For a Sikh, this struggle is internal first. The Sikh has to win this battle first before he goes to the world. So that's a very internal struggle. So in Guru Granth Sahib, if you see, these are 15 pagas, and there are other 15 other bards. So there are total 30. Bhagat Freed, he is a Sufi saint, a Muslim. Bhagat Kabir, again a Muslim, a Sufi. Bhagat Turlochan, Bhagat Tanna, they come from different background. Bhagat Tanna from a Jat background, Bhagat Beni, Bhagat Pikhan, Muslim, Bhagat Jadev, a Brahmin, Bhagat Namdev, a Chimba, Bhagat Parmanand, a Brahmin, Bhagat Pipa was actually an emperor, but he just abdicated his throne and went to the forest in order to find his true self. Bhagat Ramanand, the Brahmin, Bhagat Sanna is a kind of from a butcher caste. His father was a butcher, and he witnessed how animals are being cut, and then he became so close to God, and then he, there is one hymn in Guru Granth Sahib, Bhagat Sen, Bhagat Surdas. So all these are, so there is a diversity of voices in Guru Granth Sahib. There's not one voice, there's diversity of voices. There's not one language. There are so many languages, but they are written in Gurmukhi script. You have Sanskrit, you have so many other nuances, like Bhagat Namdev, you in Marathi's overtones you can see there. So, and Guru Nanak lived through the time 1469 is Guru Nanak's birth and 1708 is Guru Gobind Singh's. So between this period, this whole Sikhism came into being. So what Nanak preached, he says Nanak seeks the company of the lowest of the low class, the very meekest of the meek. Why should he try to compete with great? In the place where the lowly are cared for, there the blessings of your glance of grace rain down. So it's like a nicha andar neech jaat, neechi huat neech, Nanak tin ke sang saath, baddeyon so kya rees. So it means Guru Nanak said, Nanak tin ke sang saath. Sang saath, Nanak is always with those who have been condemned to the bottom of the ladder, the society, those who are suffering so much. So Nanak is always with them. So he always seeks their company. And he says, I have nothing to do with those great or the high ups or high caste. So that's a mandate Guru Nanak gave to the Sikhs. And he says, I have nothing to do with those great or the high ups or high caste. Yeah, great or high ups. That's a mandate. Can you repeat your question, please?
Ji, actually, whenever any ideals or a good news, good message comes from the gurus, immediately Brahmins wanted to get a proprietor of that message. Still, the Brahmins are not ready to take Guru Granth Sahib as their Guru's message. Why, Ji? Because here also, Thiruvalluvar, today is the we people, Tamil people also praising, and as well as we are also adopting Thiruvalluvar as our gurus, our Tamil gurus. So nowadays, BJP and all the other Hindutva forces wanted to give a one space, saffron space to Thiruvalluvar. But that Brahminical force is not ready to give a saffron spaces to our gurus. Why?
Why? Okay. So Guru's message is in contradiction to all the Vedic philosophy.
Okay.
So in what sense? The basic Varna Ashram Dharma, that's in, so Guru has in Bani, they have Vedas knowledge. Vedas, they acknowledge that there is a knowledge, but that knowledge is kind of a trikuti, threefold kind of a knowledge. And so that kind of a knowledge creates duality, suffering. And so gurus cannot associate it with that kind of a knowledge. So that's why they say that the Sikh, where the Sikh path is, he gonna be the fourth stage, beyond third stage. So that's Tragun. Tragun is very much mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib many times. So Tragun is a gun of Veda.
Okay.
And Tragun is a gun of Maya. Maya is all temptation. The Tragun is a gun of the world, this worldly gun. But the fourth place is known as beyond these three guns, and that's of the Sikhs. Those Sikhs are who are continuously learning. who are informing themselves. I mean, they are revising, learning, and trying to resist the temptation of the trigun. So that's why. And one more reason why Guru Granth Sahib, I think Guru Granth Sahib would have easily become the Brahmins and others. They would have made Guru Granth Sahib as the fifth Veda easily. Had there been no Bhagat Ravidas ji in it, had there been no Kabir in it. Now Bhagat Ravidas is a Shudra, and according to Shastras, Shudras have no right to give a moral message.
Correct.
So that's why Guru Arjan Dev Ji has been tortured according to the Manu Samriti code.
Okay.
Guru Arjan Dev Ji, when the hot sand is put on him, red hot iron is thrust in his eyes, and all that. So all those cruel punishments are described in Manu Samriti for those Shudras, those who dare to learn sacred hymns.
Okay.
So that's because the Shastra knowledge and there is some kind of, there's no harmonization, but it's not. There are others, those who understand, they can see the difference. And
Okay.
so Guru Nanak always encouraged rational thinking. When
like a Periyar,
yeah,
in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, Hardwar, then he was watering his fields, and then he just reasoned with those pandits that when your water can 1,000 miles on the sun, why can't 200 miles my fields over there?
The same incident happened in Tamil Nadu also. The Periyar did the same.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ji. Very excellent. Continuously, we have to meditate. Weekly once we are going to meditate all our gurus' messages. So time is very short.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for
thank you
giving
very
this
much.
opportunity. I don't know
continuously
whether
continuously you two also participate in next sessions also.
I'll try my best.
Try your best, Ji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jeevan, I have a question with
Okay.
Dr.
Amrit Singh. Yeah, okay.
All right. Thank you.
Shall I ask him?
Yes.
Is your name, sir?
I am Sadasivam from Chennai, sir.
Oh, Chennai. Okay. All right,
Yes,
sir.
Professor, I was enlightened about the... Hello?
Yes, please.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yes. I was enlightened about the history of all these gurus of Sikhism. Now I want to have an explanation from you about Begampura. Can you split the word Begam plus Pura and give the meaning?
Yes. Begam is a gum. Gum is like a suffering, when you feel alienated, when you are not part of the mainstream. When, like 2-3 of families become together and you are left alone, there is a gum, So, Begam, where there is no gum, there is no suffering. Begampura.
What do you mean by Puram, sir? Pura.
Puram is a place, city, kind of a settlement.
Tamil word, no?
Yes.
Settlement of humans, where a living village or living city, thriving city, Puram. So
actually, this I want to bring to the notice of all my members. See, Puram in Tamil means a place where people live,
Yes.
or it can
Yes.
be also called a holy place.
Yes.
The communities merge and live peacefully. That is called Puram.
Yeah.
Puram
Yeah.
becomes Pura and Puri in several languages.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
exactly, Begampura, I now come to understand this is a combination of different cultures and different ethos. Thank you. And another literal meaning of Nam in Tamil is, Nam in Tamil literally means we. Generally, we think about as I, but we should think of we. The Nam means exactly in Tamil, it becomes we. So there is some meaning in your Nam and in Tamil Nam also.
Yeah.
So it's a very good in discussing with you, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So,
Very-
Rajveer ji, you have some question?
Prakash is having.
Sure, sir.
Prakash.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, Amrik Singh, I have one question.
Yes,
Even
sir.
though Ravidas, Kabir, they all belong to Uttar Pradesh, where they were inspired by Ramananda, how come Punjab only materialized the integral humanism? What happened to Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and other places? It was only a thought, it was only an inspiration. But the materialization took place in Punjab with 10 gurus. Can you tell the reason?
Okay. So that's a very great question. Wonderful. So the original identity of Guru Ravidas ji, Guru Kabir ji, is in their hymns, their original hymns. And they are only available in Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes.
And they are how they ended up in Guru Granth Sahib. If you see Guru Nanak's 28 years of travels and living with all different sects and communities and learning so many languages. So then he rediscovered, because Guru Nanak became a kind of a customer, you can say, who could mean he put a value on the hymns of these gurus. There was no other who recognized their value. They were simply dismissed as Shudras. Their spirituality was not recognized by them. It was Guru Nanak's eye when he put a value on them. So then he brought everything, and that's the beginning of the formation of Guru Granth Sahib. When he preserved that, and then he wrote so many hymns of himself, more to highlight the hymns of Bhagat Ravidas ji, Bhagat Kabir ji. So now we can say that in Uttar Pradesh, Bhagat Ravidas is remembered by his idol. There is idol worship. Nobody knows. There are temples. There is a murti in the temple, and nobody knows what Guru Ravidas ji wrote. So his original contribution is in his hymns in Guru Granth Sahib, and they are original. They are no interpolation, and all scholars agree. The British wrote many false hymns in order to falsify the original message of the gurus, but they were caught because they were doing it in order to sustain their colonial administration. So, like Guru Ravidas ji, "Meri sangat poch soch din rati, mera karm kutlita janam kambati." My company is with the low, dirty people. Okay, my job is dirtier, but he says, Ram Gasaiya ji ke jeevana. So I am living in the company of the God name. Ram Gasaiya ji ke jeevana, mohe na bisaro main jan tera. Don't separate me from you. I am your part. मैं वही न बिसारो मैं जन तेरा मेरी हरो बिप्त जन करो संभाई and remove my suffering and make me happy. So this is the same shabd. It goes just like that, and where Guru Ravidas ji wins overcomes his inferiority by strongly attaching himself with the divine force, and by becoming so powerful and so pure. And so his purity was not recognized by anyone except Guru Nanak. So that's why its materialization is in Guru Granth Sahib.
Amrit Singh, I have second
Yes,
question,
please.
only this question.
Uh-huh.
Even though in his lifetime, Guru Gobind Singh fought 14 wars, it was against the kings, their hill kings, and also
Pahadi king,
the
yeah. Yeah.
Brahminical forces. And
Mhm.
even though his father was killed and he was killed by the Islamic forces, the beauty is Sikhs never hated Muslims. What is the reason?
No.
They never hated.
No. That's
Even
the central message, because if you see Harmandir Sahib, Harmandir Sahib Foundation is by Sufi Mian Mir. He's a Muslim Sufi saint. He was preaching a message. He was unifying people. He was giving one message. So he became the founder. Guru Gobind Singh, Navi Khan, Ghani Khan, those are the two Muslims, those who rescued Guru Gobind Singh from the siege when he lost all. He was left all by himself in a Chamkaur battle. So those were the Muslims, those who took him in. So all those knew that it's not a sectarian war. It's not against Muslim. It's not against. And that's why enemies are not so easily definable as we simply try to in history. So Guru Gobind Singh's war was not for power, for greed. It was for righteousness. It was for humanity. And he stood because all Gurus stood by the Shabad. Guru Granth Sahib was created. Then Guru had to sacrifice in order to keep its purity. Had Guru not sacrificed, so the purity of Guru Granth Sahib should have been compromised. And had it been compromised, the message would have been lost, and we would have been lost forever. So if something is keeping Sikhs united, is the Guru Granth Sahib. And all the battle against Sikhs and all is just for they are trying to change Guru Granth Sahib, destroy its Bani, create doubt about it, and the whole struggle is of the Sikh is just to keep its purity. So keep everything so that the message is not compromised for the rest of the humanity.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Amrit Singh, for your valuable insight of what exactly and what exactly the culture of speech. And it's an enlightening message for each and everyone right here. And thank you so much for your auspicious presence right here. And next in our agenda, we do have Mr. Sadasim, the social political activist, President BNP Chennai. So he'll be giving us insight about why the Indus Valley civilization and the Keynote civilization should intertwine. So we're gonna have a brief insight on this topic. So Mr. Sadasivan sir, you can just go ahead.
Thank you, organizers. Thank you, Jeevan Mala. Good morning, dignitaries. I wish all the Sikhs and Tamil communities who are celebrating the New Year today My special salute to Guru Ravidas, who is a Sudra, and Manuvadis call me a Sudra. So I am proud to be a Sudra. And I want to recognize Ravidas today. And friends, I will give you a brief introduction about Indus Valley and key lady civilizations. One is from the northwestern part of India, and another one is southern end of India. It is a paradox that intellectuals of left and revolutionary or left and reformative intellectuals of India have not concentrated much on the Indian history from 3000 BC onwards. The critical study of Indian history will be an eye-opener for any growth of social, political movements in India. Friends, the Indian history was rarely understood by the intellectual community of India, except very few scholars like Dr. Ambedkar. Let me give you a brief introduction about Baba Sahib Ambedkar's book, The Untouchables. I will read the same versions of, in his own words, of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. The natives of India are called Dasyus, or Nagas, or Asuras, or Dravidians, and the outsiders or invaders or Aryans. Hence, the contradiction is between two racial groups, that is, Aryans and Indians. The Indian natives can be called as Nagas or Dravidians. When Baba Sahib Ambedkar came to explain the word Dravida, he says, Tamil, when imported into Sanskrit, became Tamita, and later on Tamila became Dravida. He emphasized that Tamil or Dravida was not merely the language of South India, but before Aryans came into India, or Aryans migrated into India, or Aryans invaded into India, it was the language of the whole of India. That is, Tamil was the language of the whole of India and was spoken from Kashmir to Cape Comorin. And it was the language of the Nagas. He further enlightened the Nagas of North India gave up Tamil, which was their mother tongue, and adopted Sanskrit, which was the language of the outsiders or invaders, say Aryans. The Nagas or Dravidians in South India retained Tamil as their mother tongue and did not adopt Sanskrit, the language of the outsiders or the Aryans. Hence, the Indian history revolves between the two races, Aryans and Nagas, or Aryans or Dravidians. Now, archaeology gives plenty evidences of Nagas culture in Indus Valley civilization, and that is along the Sindh River, and the Keladi civilization along the Vaigai River. Let me give a brief introduction about the Indus Valley, which the latest intellectuals have come up with a lot of evidences with DNA and other things. New DNA evidences in solving the most fought over question in Indian history, and you will be surprised at how sure-footed the answer is, writer Tony Joseph puts in. The thorniest, most fought over question in Indian history is slowly but surely getting answered. Did Indo-European language speakers who called themselves Aryans stream into India sometimes around 2000 BC to 1500 BC, when the Indus Valley civilization came to end, Aryans bringing with different language, later developed as Sanskrit, and a distinctive set of cultural practices. Genetic research based on an avalanche of new DNA evidences is making scientists around the world convey on an unambiguous answer: yes, they did. Aryans migrated to India during the period of 2000 BC to 1500 BC. The paper that put all the recent discoveries together into a tight and coherent history of migrants into India was published in a peer-reviewed journal called BMC Evolutionary Biology. In that paper titled "A Genetic Chronology for the Indian Subcontinent," points to heavily sexed biased disposals. 16 scientists led by Professor Martin Richard of the University of Huddersfield, UK, concluded genetic influx from Central Asia in the Bronze Age was strongly male-driven, and the prevalence of R11A in India DNA was very powerful evidence for a substantial Bronze Age migration from Central Asia that most likely brought Indo-European speakers to India. And a very recent study, maybe 1 year back, of ancient DNA from the graveyard of the historic Indian town, Rakhi Ghat, Haryana, revealed from the bones of a 4,500-year-old skeleton the complete absence of genetic marker R1A1 in the ancient DNA retrieved from the site. The fact established that Indus people do not have any resemblance with DNA representing Aryans. So Indus Valley civilization is not an Aryan civilization. In fact, it is a Dravidian civilization. After the migration of Aryans during 2000 BC to 1500 BC, and that was the period, the perishing of Indus civilization, the civilization saw its downfall. The DNA resembling Aryans was strongly felt in the Indian population. Friends, Mr. Balagishan, a retired IAS officer who worked in Orissa government in the status of Chief Secretary and now the advisor to the Chief Minister of Orissa, has studied Indus Valley more than 15 years, and he explains the following phenomena, which is quite interesting. High West, Low East dichotomy of Indus Valley. In all the Indus Valley cities, we can find the elevated structures fall in the west and the lower level structures fall in the east. The king and the clergy living in the west, and the artisans and the workers live in the east. This phenomena of high west, low east is prevalent in all Dravidian languages and cultures, and the immigrant Aryans have a different phenomena, that is high east and low west. Similarly, by several parameters, Balagishan establishes Indus is Dravidian and has no traces of Sanskrit or Aryan. And no traces of Sanskrit or Aryans. Many historians, very recent historians like Asko Propola, have categorically proved that Indus Valley is a Dravidian civilization. Now let me come to the recent excavations of Keeladi of Tamil Nadu. It has proved that the native script, which archaeologists call it as Tamil Brahmi, which is evident by the radiocarbon dating that was done by Beta Analytic Lab of Miami, Florida, USA, it shows that the script written in the parts were 3600, that is 600 BCE, 2600 or 600 BCE. And very remarkable finding is the graffiti of Keeladi are exactly matching the Indus signs, very particularly Indus sign 225, 307, 365, 318, and 349 are almost similar with Keeladi. These studies confirm that the two civilizations, Indus along the banks of Sindh River and other Keeladi along the banks of River Vaigai, are interlinked to each other, and further study may prove they may be one and the same. Now I want to make an appeal to the Sikh community, the Punjabis, my brothers of Begampura. Now I can vouch they are the descendants of Indus Valley, to identify their brothers and sisters of Keeladi civilization, to rewrite the history of glorious Indian subcontinent and all the natives of this subcontinent, to unite and make this country a Begampura where equality cherishes and inequality perishes. Let us all save the territorial integrity of India and respect various cultures of this country and make this land as unity amidst diversity. Friends, a very shorter time, I want to give a brief note to the August gatherings of today. Thank you for this opportunity to the organizers. Thank you.
What of that?
Sadasivam, I have only one thing to share. The most important thing is not the racial connections and the racial continuity. It is the thought process. If you take Nanak ji comes from the Kshatriya community, which is not a Shudra community, but he has conceived and he has seen the integral humanity, as Amrik Singh said, that there is a value in what Ravidas said. So instead of saying that we belong to this, because in my opinion, Punjabis are other Aryans. You can see the Scythian race, racial DNA in them mostly. So it is the thought process which is important than the continuity of the racial thing. This is I may differ from you, Sadasivam, I apologize to you, but the thought process is more important than the continuity.
Actually, Punjabis never claim that they are Aryans.
No, what
But
I am
you
saying,
people are no.
No,
because
you take the facial, the height,
because these
the
people
nose.
I
no.
Prakash is giving a wrong history. It can never be Punjabis or Dravidians. See, the fire and the thought process, everything is very similar to the thought process of the
Yes.
South Indian people. And see, we are celebrating the New Year today.
Yes.
So lot of things are there to be studied.
Yes.
And I am contradicting your views, Mr. Prakash.
Yes.
Anyhow, it is
If you go and see the border of Singhu,
Yes.
the lakhs of people are opposing the Brahminical forces there. They are
No,
opposing the Aryan forces.
No,
But
I
we people
agree.
simply sitting in the four walls and claiming that they are all Aryans.
No.
Yeah?
What I am saying is,
Uh,
you ask any anthropologist, Punjabis don't come to the Dravidian race.
No.
Scythians.
According to the Babasa Ambedkar anthropology study, from
Yes.
Sindhu to Cap Comrin, undivided Punjab, from Cap Comrin, they are all
Yes.
Nagas. Nagas and Dravidas are the same race. According
Jeevan,
to the study of Babasa Ambedkar.
Jeevan, I
anthropology
accept
study.
that the language substratum is Dravidian. All people who come, they have taken it. Sanskrit is a very early language.
This
It
is
not
not a
old
place
language.
to discuss about that one.
Yes.
Yes, because actually those people wanted to have a alliance with Dravida people. That
Yes.
Mool is in Tamil Nadu only.
Yes.
Especially
Sir,
in Pandya
Yes.
region, the Mool. They wanted to have a weld with the Mool community.
I
Mool,
have been
Mool race.
wrongly understood. What I am emphasizing is that thought process is more important than the genetic continuity and the racial continuity. This is what.
But we should not
Don't
justify.
mistake.
But according to my understanding, I don't want to justify as a poison is a poison. I don't want to justify as a poison is some poisons are good poison. I don't want. I wanted to see the poison as a poison.
Yes.
So Aryans are poison. I wanted to see the poison. How I can claim that they are all good poison?
No.
Their
Aryan
thought
philosophy is poisonous. Aryan
Yes.
philosophy is poisonous.
Because
No doubt about it.
they are following their philosophy
Yes.
very honestly.
Yes.
They are following their philosophy. They are following
Yes.
the philosophy, their philosophy, own philosophy.
Yes.
But you and me are failed to follow our own philosophy, which
Yes.
had given by Guru Ravidas, Guru Kabir, Guru Namdev. They are all Indians. Actually, now the war is going between Indians and non-Indians.
Yes.
Aryans and Indians.
Aryans and Indians. They are all non-Indians.
Yes.
Outsiders.
Outsiders.
We are all the natives. We are all
Yes,
natives.
we are natives.
We are all natives.
According to the Hindu Dharma, you people are saying that Kshatriyas are the second-grade Hindus,
Yes.
not first-grade Hindus.
Yes.
They never claim that if they wanted to whether they are the Brahminical forces, whether they are allowed to Kshatriya to become a first-grade Hindus.
Yes.
How they allow? So
Jeevan,
according to the Baba Sahib Ambedkar told that every Brahmins wanted to maintain their supremacy, maintain their Brahmanism.
Jeevan, I would like to point out only one thing. Now you listen to the Pudhiya Tamazhagam and the Pallar Amici, they are all propagating the Arya Dharma, even though they don't belong to the Aryans. That's why I'm saying that the thought process is very, very dangerous.
Yes, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Of course. But actually, we people are failed to talk about the stooges, traitors.
Yes.
We are always talking about the enemies.
Yes.
But you and me, those who are sitting in this forum, our people are not ready to talk about the traitors, betrayers,
Yes.
and chamchas and stooges.
Yes.
In coming days, we people wanted to talk about the stooges,
Yes.
betrayers, and traitors.
Yes.
If you fail to talk about the traitors will lead our Dravida movement, Dravida people. So in next session we will discuss about how to finish the traitors,
Yes.
how to finish this betrayer, how
Yes.
to finish the stooges. So you know that Kanchiram was the person, he written one book, that only one book given to the community. That book name is Chamcha Age.
Yes.
Only the Chamcha Age means betrayer age, traitor's age. Actually, the people having a guts, that people only can eligible to talk about the betrayer.
Yes.
Mentally we are also following the betrayer's way. So that's what we are not having courageous to talk about the betrayers.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, because the time is very limited. Rajendra Singh is there.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing their insights, and we enclose a warm greetings and warm thank you from BBC Media. And Dr. Rajendra Singh is the president of Guru Nanak College, Chennai. He'll be delivering the vote of thanks for us right now.
First of all, I personally thanks Dr. Amrik Singh for his wonderful thoughts on the Begumpura and Sikhism. Dr. Sadasivam also enlightened with the history, with his deep study on how the Dravidian, which are the native of our Indian, instead of this, that this is their Aryan and Dravidian, which are existing today. But we should study today what were the reason when somebody had attacked our country and we could not save our. What were those reasons?
Hello.
What were those weakness? Are you able to hear me? Hello. Are you able to hear me? You are able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are hearing.
Thank you.
Yes, Ji. Continue, Ji.
So we have to discuss our weakness and then only we can overcome it. Further, some very good points which have come. Jeevan Mala, you are having some time. Shall I explain some 2-3 points?
Yes, yes, of course. We are waiting for that.
Thank you. You have raised one question with for the Naam in Gurbani. So Dr. Amrik Singh clarified. I just wanted to share with my personal views, which I understood from the learning. See, all our name were given to us by our parents. Nobody had his own name. Am I right? But if we take the Almighty God, Paramatma, the supreme power, and we know he don't have its parents, so who gave him his name? In our life, we get a 2 type of name. One name is given to us by our parents. One name is given by the society by seeing our habits, our courages. Like this, we say that he is like a lion, he is like a ass. So by seeing that, so all the God name which we are calling him, when we call it a Rahim, when we call it a Cream, so it means that he is delivering happiness to everybody. So whatever we feel, we given the name, and that is a true with his activities, true with his I could not get, जो उसके जो आदतें हैं, जो उसकी गुण हैं, virtues हैं, by seeing that we given him the name. So all this naam, which is a virtue of the Almighty, and if we get all those adopted in our life, we will also become closer to the Almighty. So this is what I feel that name of the Almighty. Another one point which is a come that this is a Gina Miller, when you have mentioned this, that Guru Nanak was a Kshatri and he was not a Shudra. But what Guru Granth Sahib or Guru Nanak Sikh philosophy feel, Manas ki jaat sab ek ke pehchan bo. It means that all the human races are equal or one. So when Guru Nanak and Sikh philosophy don't find any differences, whether it is a Brahman or it is a Pope or it is a Fakir, for him all the human beings are produced by the same Almighty. We are all in one, and this is the universal brotherhood. This is the message of Guru Nanak. When he is practically delivering that, he don't find any difference on the caste basis. When he meet the Kabir or Namdev or Ravidas or Bhagat Dhanna or Bhagat Beni. So even Brahman also same for him, or Shudra also same for him. So this is the practically way of life in the Sikhism, which is delivering the message of the Almighty. So it don't make any differences in the practical way of life. So this should we understand. When we understand that, so most of these are the things which we are making who is this, what he done. If we discuss these things, we will not be able to improve ourselves. If we have to improve ourselves, we have to adopt the good deed. And if somebody is doing wrong, we practice the right thing, we'll definitely go above. Today, being a Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar birthday and Baisakhi Day, I want to congratulate all of you, and I wish that Almighty will give everybody happiness, strength to fight against the injustice, and practice the Naam, the virtues of the God, virtue of the Almighty. I thank you, Jeevan, Malab, for this making a nice arrangement, and thank you everybody for participating. And I assure that Mr. Jeevan will continue this episode in the future, and we all will take up closely and participate on a positive thing instead of criticizing any other thing. Wish you all the best and a happy Baisakhi.
Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Mr. Rajbir Ji, you want to say something? Or otherwise, next week you will give a special lecture regarding today's program. Rajbir Ji?
As you
Yes.
like.
Yes, yes. Next coming Sunday, because up to 12 o'clock only we got a permission. Okay. Next week, for continuity of this program, you prepare yourself to give the lecture. Huh? Next week, you please
Sure.
join with us. Huh?
Sure.
Thank you,
Sure.
thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Rajbir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
11
Thank you.
o'clock. I have to early in the
Yes, yes,
morning.
yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ji.
everyone.
Thank you. Ji. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Good night.